Mom tricked me into a forced marriage trip to Pakistan, but I planned to escape during our layover in Paris. I was studying for my math test and listening to music while I study. My mom was on the phone talking to a relative in Pakistan about a wedding and I took my earbuds out, and I started eavesdropping. I wanted to know what was going on and my mom said I don't know what wilted wallflower should wear to her wedding. What the fuck? After she ended the call she told me and my stepsister that we were going to Pakistan to visit relatives. I faked interest and pretended to be excited, so she wouldn't get suspicious, but I am fucking shocked and I didn't know what to do. I went on travel. GC and I also googled a list of Canadian/French consulates and embassies in Pakistan. I'm afraid my mom or my relatives will take away my passport and never let me return to Canada. Then I'll be trapped in that shithole country with some stranger who will probably abuse me daily. My mom has talked about marrying me off to a guy because my grades are bad and because I don't behave. I haven't been to Pakistan since I was 6 and I would never, ever go back. I am ex-Muslim and I hate all of my mom's relatives in Pakistan. I remember when I failed a chemistry test and my mom said your cousin got grades like yours and that's why she was married off. Another time before I wrote my final exams, she said I'll find you a doctor husband because girls don't work. I am so scared and I don't know what to do. I don't want to leave Canada. I know that we have to go to Paris, France first and I am going to make a run for it when we land. I have dual citizenship with France and my biological father lives in Paris. I haven't even called my dad and told him what was going on because I'm going to break down in tears and my snitchy stepsister will tell my mom and stepdad on me. On TV and YouTube I have seen so many documentaries about Desi girls in forced marriages. I never knew that I was going to be one of those girls. Should I call the police before I leave? Or should I ask to go to the bathroom and run away? Update 1. I am not in Ontario. I have called my father. My mom and stepsister don't speak French so they didn't understand. My dad is a white French man and he is not on my mom's side. Update 2. First of all, I can't thank you all enough for this advice and support. I'd send you all muffin baskets if I could. It's the day after I found out about this forced marriage. It wasn't arranged because I haven't given my consent and there's no way in hell I want to marry some old fuck at 16. A lot has happened in the past 24 hours. I have called my dad, boyfriend, family members and trusted friends. My best friend has given me a pocket GPS, and she said she will track my location and notify the police if I end up in Pakistan, but I have notified authorities. My dad was furious when I told him that my mom arranged a marriage for me. My boyfriend's parents said they would help me if my mom drains my bank account, or if I was taken to Pakistan, they would go there and take me out of Pakistan. I have printed off copies of my IDs and recent pictures. I have given them to my friends and family. I also told my principal. I started taking cash out of my bank account so my mom can't drain it. But I don't want it to look suspicious, so I'm going to take it out in medium amounts and then hide the money in my safe. My dad said he would help me open a bank account in France, but I'm sure you have to be over 18. I hid my French passport and other IDs in my safe. Another thing I've done is that I am packing my belongings like my clothes, albums, school transcripts, electronics, books etc. in boxes and shipping them to my dad's address. I don't know what I'll do with the cash. I have under $10,000 so I won't face a fine when at customs, but I'll have to declare it. My mom has also told me she doesn't care where I go or what happens to me. I have hid at my friend's house for a week once after she slapped me for getting a 12/15 on a math test when I was in grade 7 and she didn't call once or anything. I am lucky that my friends let me stay with them. When my mom comes home, I'm going to tell her that I want to live with my dad. I don't know what her reaction will be, but I doubt she'll care. She cares more about my stepdad and his kid from a previous marriage. If my mom and stepdad agree, I can have freedom. No more Islam or abuse at home. If they agree, I'm going to call my dad and tell him to buy the plane ticket so I can leave Canada and live in France. I won't have a problem with immigration or anything because I have a French passport and I have mentioned that in the previous post. I know my dad can convince my dad to give up her parental rights and let him have sole custody. I'm sure my mom will lose her parental rights to me because of emotional, physical and mental abuse and this forced marriage is going to bring her down lol. I also have screenshots of my mom's text messages about this marriage. I even have a voice recording as evidence. I am going to confront my mom and stepdad and tell them that I'm going to live with my biological dad tonight. I'll update you all on what happens after. Edit. Hey guys, about my dad. I actually grew up with a father for 13 years when I lived in France. I know my dad and I still see him 3 to 4 times a year even though my mom remarried and we moved to Canada. Update 3. I made my mom and stepdad sit down at the dinner table. I told them that I wanted to move to France and live with my dad. They started telling me that France was unsafe, that I was going to get shot. Then I told my mom that she always wanted me to die, lol. My stepdad said that Paris is dangerous and I told him about East Vancouver, Surrey, Detroit, Compton, North Edmonton etc. There was a lot of yelling but I told them that if they hated me so much, they should just give up their parental rights and let my biological father deal with me. There was a moment of silence. My stepdad decided to leave because he thought I was being crazy. My mom called me a disgrace to the family and I said in a very bitchy tone, "Why don't you fucking return me to dad? Unlike you he actually cares about me, you fucking deplorable." My mom sighed and calmly replied, "If that's what you want, I'll go make the arrangements. But you are making a huge mistake, and you'll regret it for the rest of your life. The confrontation wasn't as violent as I thought it would be. I had a pocket knife for self-defense because my parents have hit me before. It only lasted about 15 minutes. I'm a bit sad because I thought my mom would try to negotiate with me, or ask me what she did that makes me want to live with my dad who lives in another fucking country. It's not like my dad lives in a house across the street, or in the same city. He lives in another country, and the fact that I have to move to another country for my safety, sanity, freedom and well-being sounds fucking crazy. Instead, she decided to terminate her parental rights and give me back to my dad. She just threw me away. She never tried to fix our relationship. Most moms would fight, beg and plead with their last, dying breath for their kids to stay. When I think about it, I am better off living with my dad. He actually cares and worries about my well-being. I don't even think I should be sad. I mean, I got what I wanted. I also realize that I'm so fortunate to have all these friends and family members who actually care, and I have these nice strangers online who also gave me good advice. Smile, I am better off than most girls in my situation. I mean, I can run off to France and be safe there because I have a caring dad, unlike most girls in my situation. The only thing left in my room is my furniture. I packed my remaining belongings into a suitcase and I went to my friend's house. I have already cleared my closet and drawers. I put everything into a box and shipped it to my dad's address. I don't have many heavy objects and there's a trick on folding clothes to save space. I can share the link, if you want. Timeline of events: 5 o'clock to 5:15 p.m., 5:20 to 5:40 p.m., 5:50 p.m., 6:45 p.m. I'll be on the plane, but I'll keep journaling and I'll make more updates. I read my mom's text messages. She told my aunt she arranged a marriage for me. Yuck. Update 4. Me and my friend went from where we live, Vancouver. Our next flight is from Vancouver, Paris. My friend and I jumped on the next flight to Vancouver. Right now me and my friend are just waiting for our flight to Paris. My dad will pick me up at CDG Airport and my friend will stay in Paris with me for emotional support. I felt bad because my friend had to come with me and abandon her normal routine, but she told me it was okay because she wanted to travel. She told me that she saved up money to travel but she didn't buy a ticket, so I guess I helped her jumpstart her goal to travel around Europe. Our flight to Vancouver was 1 hour and 35-ish minutes. I don't live far from BC lol. Our flight for Paris leaves the next day, so we decided to check into a hotel for the night. I was scared when the plane took off. I'm not afraid of flying. I was afraid that my mom was going to call the police or try to track my location and that this would become a missing persons case. My friend reassured me that my mom was a shitty parent and that I was so close to freedom. A couple minutes after the plane took off and I started thinking about my new life in France, I stopped thinking about my awful family and started thinking about how in 1-2 days I would see my dad and I'd be free at last. I'll be sitting in a French cafe reading a book, or strolling down the Champs-Élysées. I was going back to the City of Lights after 3 years of darkness. The only problem I had was my French spelling and learning how to make friends in France. Another minor issue would be getting used to a new time zone and jet lag. I'm also going to miss my friends in Canada. They helped me a lot. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be waiting for a flight to Paris. I'm also thankful for all the advice I got on Reddit. I finally got the courage to call my dad and read every post. Smile, when I was 14, I wondered what would happen if I went to France and never returned. I was too scared to stay or even tell my mom and stepdad that I wanted to leave and go live with my dad. I never knew that 2 years later I would be moving back to France. I thought that I would have to wait until my 18th birthday to leave. I even got a part-time job to save up for a plane ticket and to move out when I turned 18. After my mom told me that she would make arrangements last night, I saw it as my last chance to escape before something bad happened. I don't know what they're capable of. I could have been killed, kidnapped, etc. Who knows? By the way, Smile, also, if you're ex-Muslim and your family is like mine, tell someone. Tell your doctor, teachers, construction worker, employer, mailman, friends, neighbors, etc. I'm not being biased, but it's best to not tell anyone who is close to your parents. I never told anyone who was Desi and Muslim because my mom is bitch friends with snitchy kids who are Desi and Muslim. It's better to tell people who are non-Muslim. I told my friend in French class last year about what goes on at home. He said he was so sorry and said that he was there for me. People actually care. I am very lucky that I have caring friends and a dad who knows my mom is crazy. Before I travel, I let my friends know where I am and when I'll be back. If I don't show up for a while, my friends will know something's not right and they would call authorities. Also, I'm quite sneaky. I never trusted anyone in Pakistan and I would have hid my passport, cell phone and numbers to the French/Canadian embassy. Update 5. So, it's been a while since I've made an update here. I am now in France, away from my psychotic, narcissistic mom and stepdad. The friend who came with me has gone to Greece. I've been getting used to France again permanently. Before I used to visit my dad for a week or two and I'd just be a tourist, but now I actually live here again. And luckily I don't have Paris syndrome. I can also still finish high school here, get my diploma and go to university, but I want to take a gap year and I'm not sure if I want to stay in France for university. Also, my mom's parenting rights have been terminated, and she doesn't have custody of me anymore. Phew. I'm glad I'll never have to see my shitty mom and stepdad ever again. I'm glad my dad isn't Muslim. He saved me from being trapped in an Islamic shithole country and being raped, abused by some 40-year-old that my mom wanted to marry me off to. When the plane landed in Paris, I finally felt free and safe. I wasn't in another country away from my mom and shitty stepdad. It's funny how some of my classmates think that I'm on vacation because my friend posted a picture of her and I when we went to the Eiffel Tower. Only 2 of my friends know what really happened, but I know they wouldn't tell anyone what happened. My first month here has been very weird. My friend wanted to go sightseeing and I don't blame her. It was fun showing my friend around Paris, but I knew that I wasn't a tourist anymore and that I now live in France, permanently. Overall, I've made friends and I was still in contact with some of my childhood friends. So yeah, I didn't have that much culture shock or trouble adjusting. I've been studying French, but my dad said that my French is fine. My dad is mad at my mom for arranging a marriage. My dad told me I was a human being and not commodity to be sold to the highest bidder, and then he said my mom was a deplorable and a disgusting woman for whoring me out and planning to leave me in a country where I have no contacts and I don't speak the language. I am much happier now because I'm the only child and I don't have an annoying sister snitching on me to my parents, or going through my bedroom. Overall, my life is better now because my mom is out of it and I want it to stay that way. My dad got my mom's parenting rights terminated and I think it's amazing because now my mom can't hurt me anymore. I'm not sure what I will study in university, but I also want to do something to help other girls in my situation. I think I want to write a book one day about what happened to me, but I'd have to use a pen name. But I feel so relieved that I don't live with my mom anymore. I have less acne and I lost weight because I don't have to hide my double life from her anymore. My dad and I went through my childhood pictures and we cut my mom out of those pictures. Some karma and legal justice. My dad doesn't have to send child support to my mom anymore, and now my mom and stepdad can't spend $1 a month on useless stuff anymore. Now they are fucked. I am just really happy that I have a white, non-Muslim dad who doesn't care if I hang out with my friends or if I fail one small meaningless test. I can actually be a teenager now. Also, I don't have to go back to Pakistan ever again, which is great. Update 6. You all really are the absolute best for following this insane saga. Sorry it has been a while since my last update, but so much has happened that it honestly feels surreal. I don't even know where to start. So much has changed, and for the first time in a long time, it's all changes I chose for myself. First off, since I've last posted, my mom has actually tried to contact me. After cutting me off completely for over a month, she somehow found my French number. I underestimated the lengths Desi parents would go through to guilt trip their kids. Lamau. The messages started off classic, guilt and drama about destroying her reputation and breaking the family. But it got crazier. She told everyone back home that I'd run away to France with a random white boy and was now lost to drugs in the West. She sent me weird screenshots from WhatsApp groups full of the usual anti-drama and asked for money like 3 times for my own good. I blocked her, but not before forwarding everything to my dad's lawyer. It ended up working in our favor. My dad already had custody, but now there are further restraining orders in place. I now have actual legal protection if my mom and stepdad try to find me, even in France. On the France side of things, I started at my new lycée, high school. This was way scarier than I expected. I got the mother of all reality checks at orientation because kids here are nothing like the ones in Canada, and some of them acted like I was an alien because of my weird hybrid French and North American accent. Plot twist? A group of girls in my homeroom actually recognized me because my friend, the one who traveled with me from Canada, she's now back home but we video chat every week, posted that Eiffel Tower selfie that somehow went semi-viral with expat kids. So suddenly I'm that girl from Instagram, not just the random brown girl. They even asked if I was actually half Canadian and knew Justin Trudeau. I didn't even have to tell them anything about my story, but now I have new friends. I have actual plans on weekends and a best friend here who's obsessed with watching American rom-coms and explaining French memes to me. Academically, it is a lot of work and sometimes stressful, but so much healthier than the crap my mom put me through. My dad just wants me to be safe and says I don't need to become un doctor, or a medical engineer surgeon like Desi parents love to brag. He even encouraged me to apply for a creative writing workshop, which I got in. So now I'm working on short stories as part of the program, and they're all about girls like me and the wildness that goes on behind closed doors in normal brown families. My French teacher even suggested I submit a piece to a local magazine, and now I'm kind of thinking maybe a real book could actually happen. And the best part? I actually went to a demonstration in Paris during International Women's Day for survivors of forced marriage and honor-based violence. I got to speak, in French, to a crowd about what happened to me, keeping myself anonymous, of course, and there were other ex-Muslim girls there who had lived through similar things. It was so wild to see girls from Pakistan, Bangladesh, North Africa, Egypt, even Afghanistan, speaking out. I couldn't believe how close I came to losing myself, how easily things could have gone wrong. But standing there, hearing applause, I actually felt proud of myself, not ashamed. Meanwhile, my life in Paris has gone full cliché in the best way. My dad and I got bikes and now we ride down those cobblestone streets for groceries every Saturday. We get hot chocolate and almond croissants at this tiny cafe near our flat that has become my new safe space. Sometimes it almost feels like I was never that trapped girl in Canada. My nightmares about the wedding are getting less frequent. I started therapy because trauma doesn't magically disappear, and I'm working through the anger at my mom. Sometimes I cry, sometimes I laugh at the absurdity. But mostly, I feel weirdly grateful I made it out. One plot twist I didn't expect: my stepsister. I blocked her right after everything went down. But she sent me an email last week saying she was sorry for always snitching and that she now realizes what my mom did was seriously wrong. She even asked if she could visit me next summer, saying she wants to get away from this hellhole too. I haven't replied yet. Part of me wants to just leave that all behind, but another part of me, good old compassion, feels for her. Maybe I'll answer one day, but for now, I'm focusing on myself. The only thing I still worry about is my extended family in Pakistan. My aunt went ballistic when she found out I dishonored the family. She sent a long chain of voice notes, alternating between tragic wailing and threats about eternal damnation. Luckily, no one in Pakistan has the means or visas to come after me in France, and my dad has a dossier prepared in case anyone tries to contact authorities. And, weirdly, the world didn't end. I can dye my hair purple if I want. I can eat bacon and sleep in on Sundays. I'm figuring out who I am without all the secrecy and terror. Yesterday, I walked along the Seine listening to music, just for the joy of it. No one yelling, no one checking my phone, no curfew. I even bought a tiny gold necklace for myself, a charm of the Eiffel Tower, and I think I'll keep it forever to remind myself I'm not a prisoner anymore. So to anyone stumbling onto this post who thinks there's no way out, please know, even though it feels impossible, things can change so much, so fast. No shitty parent, no ancient tradition, no honor is more important than your freedom and your right to live. I'll be chilling in Paris for the foreseeable future, drinking way too much coffee and learning how to live with myself. I'll update if anything wild happens, but for now, I'm going to focus on being a teenager for the first time. Merci, and much love to all of you who read, cared, and believed. Update 7. The big headline. My mom and stepdad tried to file a kidnapping report through Interpol. Yes, you read that right. 15-year-old me suddenly became an international fugitive in my own saga, all because I exercised agency over my life. It started with a knock at our Paris apartment last Thursday. 2 French officers politely asked to speak with my dad and me. Turns out, my mom had made a hysterical police report in Canada after learning about my speech at the Women's March. She claimed my dad brainwashed and abducted me, conveniently skipping all details about arranged marriages and the fact that I'm dual citizen and she legally signed me over. My heart almost dropped through the floor. But get this, the French police already had all our documentation, thanks, efficient French system and my dad's lawyer's giant folder of divorce drama. They ended up apologizing and offering a number for victim services if my mom harassed us from abroad again. I couldn't stop laughing after they left. Literally, my mom tried to weaponize Interpol because she couldn't own up to her own lies. The best part? The Canadian authorities flagged her report as malicious and unsubstantiated. So now her little plan backfired so spectacularly that she might actually get investigated for filing false police reports. Karma demolition derby, anyone? In lighter news, I dyed my hair. Yep, finally did it. It's not purple, couldn't quite commit, but it's streaked blue at the ends and I feel like I'm starring in a cheesy coming-of-age montage. The whole process was surprisingly emotional. I realized I'd literally never been allowed to change anything about my appearance before. And the glow-up is real, you guys. I posted a photo on Insta, locked to close friends only, paranoid, I know, and got so many ongu. Look so happy. Messages from old friends back home. Even my French teacher commented IRL that you seem like a new person lately. Wild. Meanwhile, Creative Writing Club at Lycée is going strong. I got shortlisted for publication in an anthology of youth writers in Paris. No joke, my story is now being translated into Arabic and Urdu so that immigrant girls in France can read it. Apparently, an NGO here works with girls fleeing abusive situations and they want to use my story in support groups. When I found this out I literally started crying. It was the first time I felt like maybe all the pain I went through actually means something, you know. I wish I could say everything feels amazing and settled, but the truth is, sometimes the trauma sneaks up and clubs me in the head with a frying pan. One night last week my aunt from Pakistan called, "How does anyone still have my number?" and screamed about family disgrace so loudly it almost shattered my phone speaker. I blocked her instantly, but then I started having the wedding nightmares again. My therapist says this is normal, that trauma loves to boomerang after the storm passes. But I'm working on it. I even joined a support group for ex-Muslim girls here, and holy shit, hearing their stories made me realize how right I was to run. Plot twist, remember my stepsister? I finally answered her email. I decided I'd rather know the truth than guess forever. She's actually planning her own escape. I'm not even joking. A couple months ago, she started hiding her documents and saving up cash after seeing what happened to me. She's in touch with a legal aid group in Toronto now. She told me, "I didn't realize how brave you were until I saw what living with mom is actually like." We talked for hours over Signal. For the first time, I saw her as a whole person, not just an annoying spy, and I really hope she makes it out too. So if you're reading this and you're in Canada, please, support the girls you think are in trouble. They see you. They just can't always ask for help until it's safe. Other semi-crazy stuff. I started posting anonymously on a subreddit for immigrant/ex-Muslim girls, and a publisher DM'd me asking if I wanted to develop my story as a miniseries. I'm still debating, but holy crap, if 13-year-old me could see this now. My dad took me to see the ocean for my 17th birthday, actual, literal ocean, Normandy, cold wind and all. I put my feet in the surf and screamed until my throat ached, just because I could. No one scolded me, no one cared how I looked, and I laughed so hard I almost forgot every time I ever felt afraid. Someone tried to catfish me on Instagram by pretending to be a Canadian cousin who wanted to reconnect. Old habits die hard. I sent screenshots to my lawyer and blocked instantly, but y'all, never underestimate Desi Mom private investigator energy. And then, just yesterday, out of nowhere, my bio dad's elderly French neighbor, who always brings us croissants, told me she'd seen me crying on the stairs a few days after I moved in. She said, "You looked so small. But now, you walk like you're taller than anyone in Paris." She doesn't even speak much English, but somehow she knew exactly what to say. I swear, it undid 5 years of family poison just hearing that. I don't know what will happen next. Sometimes I still flinch when I see WhatsApp notifications, and sometimes I miss Canada's pine trees and Tim Hortons and my old friends so much it hurts. But Paris, tight staircases, buskers on the metro, endless bread, finally feels like home. Here's my new normal. I'm not looking over my shoulder, I'm looking at what's possible. Next week my story goes to a group of girls who need to read it just to know it can be okay. My only advice, don't wait for your family's permission to survive. Don't wait for some hero to bust in, you can be your own escape. I promise you, the minute you step into your own light, whole new worlds open up. If anything extra happens, knowing my mom, it probably will, you'll all be the first to know. But for now, I'm going to go eat bakery fresh pain au chocolat, pet my neighbor's dog, and do some actual math studying for a change.